I've been wrong once and I'll be wrong again. All right, YouTubes. It's Nisi Season 7 Katarina coaching. What? Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I was confused about the team comps for a second, but now I get it because I saw the Twitch. My mind's telling me no, but my body telling me yeah. Let's go back in time. Okay, so you're like, you're not doing yourself any favors with how you're farming. So when you come into lane versus Ahri, first things first, if you can stand to either side here and Q the range creeps and potentially hit her, you're gonna get more value in the chance that if she actually decides that she's going to try to Q you, because you are manaless, she is not. You're starting with more pots than she has, so trading's okay. Bronzy, I love you, dude. Thank you, buddy. You will get better. So I would rather you position on the sides in these types of matchups and abuse the fact that you're manaless. Poke at Ahri and push the range creeps out as fast as possible with your Q. That's what I'd be looking to do, and get her to fire Qs. Your goal is to dodge them. Personally, I would rather you start boots and pots because you can move a little bit more, and that's very, very important in this matchup to dodge the Q. So this is the area I've dotted it out so you can see what I'm saying. You'd be throwing Qs at Ahri or at the range creeps while trying to dodge her Q. Because you have the sustain advantage. You only need to dodge a couple and you can push back into it. You don't just want to give her you don't want to just give her the lane, and you don't want to let her just push into you necessarily. So see how you're not using that Q this whole time? That's cooldowns. That's time that we could be using to push. You see this? So those range creeps full HP right now. And you let her harass you and hit minions, which is not what you want. See this? I'm a rage. See, I don't like giving people lane control. I always like trading and battling early. And you should too. Be confident. Would be very scared going for creeps with her being level 2 and me not being level 2. Yeah, she can get in your D. She can all in you. If she actually wants to, she could like flash ignite you after that, or when the wave thins, she could basically flash ignite E, and with the minions and some autos, she could probably kill you there if she hits you with the Q follow up. Just something to think about. Good Ahri will try it. Oh, she didn't take charm? What the fuck? She should have taken charm second. It's weird to me. I love it. Aladaisman, thank you very much for subbing. Hope I said your name right. A ladies man. Jesus. In my defense, I stream every day and I see all sorts of different types of names. So give me the benefit of the doubt of being like only partially retarded. That would be nice. Aladies man. Aladies man, dude. There's the first blood coming out. So this is what I'm talking about. This is why in any lane that's heavy poke, I am all about pushing into the guy. Now, what else have we done wrong here? Yeah, I was only pretending to be retarded. That's what it was. So, we should be going into lane, we should be spamming our Q to push the minions off of us. If we get stuck under our turret, this is what happens. We get poked at, poked at, poked at, and we can never engage. That's why I prefer to, as soon as we hit the lane, trade, be confident. The next thing that you did wrong here, aside from the mechanics, I mean, I could harp on the mechanics of getting hit by skill shots and shit all day. Aside from that, you didn't spam your pots out and keep your health topped off. Very, very important in lane. Anytime that you get to about, you know, 3/4 health, when your health bar was like here, You should have already been running a pot. So let's pretend that your health bar was there. You should have already been running a pot and keeping your health topped off. You want to be trading back. You don't want to just be shoved under your turret, because this is what happens to you, dog. You get stuck here and you have no control. Okay? And you're not making the Ahri waste mana. You're not operating in a way that's easy to dodge skill shots. If you're stuck under turret, the other thing you got to remember is you're predictable as shit. If you're pushing at someone, if you're stuck under turret and the minions are pushing to you, okay, you're predictable as shit, because they know your opponent's going to know that you're going to go for creeps. If you're pushing at your lane opponent early on and you're spamming pots and you're pushing back into the lane, you keep the push off of you and you can keep the pressure off of you, and then before you know it, you dodge a couple skill shots, you've run the guy out of mana, and then you have a little bit more lane control. That's the only way we can win the lane here. We won't win the lane by being stuck under a turret and getting poked at. The only thing that you're hoping for being stuck under turret is that Twitch ganks early for you. But guess what? Never rely on your jungle to carry you. Okay, the only time that you can rely on your jungle to carry you is when you're super duper outmatched. But guess what? You're low elo. You're not outmatched, dude. So there, I don't know what you did to die, but it looked pretty ugly, whatever it was. Yeah, you just ate a charm there. Twitch jungle can cheese early, but I wouldn't rely on it. Here, the minions are thinning out, and for some reason you get crazy. Just let the minions push to you, that way you won't eat that trade. Just step back, so when the minion was there, you should have already been moving backwards. And just letting the wave come to you first. Would have been a lot safer. Immo. I like that you're trading back at this guy. Unfortunately, we're just behind right now. We just have a null mantle, so there's no way we're beating him there. Well, there was a way that you could have beat him if you catch the dagger and maybe burn his ult, but he'll probably just shit on you, so I don't know. This is the confidence that we needed at level 1. We needed to be trading at this guy at level 1. You can't just let people bully you when you're melee and the guy's a poke champ. You have to take charge of the lane earlier, because if you're not taking charge of the lane early and you let the guy just push into you, you get stuck under your turret. This happens all the time. The big offender's bot lane when you're facing like Caitlyn or some shit. If you don't try to take charge of the lane sooner, then you'll just get stuck under your turret, and you're basically hoping for your team to bail you out of that situation of getting pushed all game. And that's just not a reliable thing. It's not as reliable as being aggressive in lane and trying to get control of the lane. So here, they overcommit. The roam's a really good roam. You get it done. Roam works out. You kind of stayed bottom a little too long. Should have ran up to mid faster after the kill was secured. Can't eat charms versus Ahri. Gotta make sure to try to bait those. I see that you keep running into farm, but it's better to try to burn those charms first. There, you stepped out of XP range. You shouldn't be that far back. You should have been standing. There's a lot of stuff to work on in your laning, dude. Should have been standing here, getting the XP as that minion ticked down. When you're standing back behind this line, you're not getting any XP because of that. So you can't miss XP. You did it again just now on that minion. That minion there, you were too far away, so you missed the XP. Okay, Twitch comes in. Roof Trooper has fallen. Okay, so pretty ugly gank by Twitch. Not much to say there. You could potentially flash kill that guy. Maybe. Yeah, no. Really rough start, dude. Clown music gank. Can you tell him I feel like Cat is really bad level 1? Since I'm not ranked, I imagine you meant range, and try to push the lane, I'll just get poked even more and auto-attacked as well. I mean, I already explained it, but I'll go back in time because you seem like you're confused as to what I'm saying. We're at 11 minutes or something. This is honestly the most important part of your replay anyhow, because let's be real, your laning was really shitty, and your shitty laning is what determines how the entire game's gonna look. The higher up you go, if your laning's this shitty, you're gonna just auto lose the game for your team. Let's be clear right away. And I'm not saying this to be a dick. I'm just saying that you need to understand this is the most important part. So what am I telling you to do? Basically, I'm telling you to position on the sides of the minions so that if Ahri tries to throw a Q at you or auto attack you, that's okay. Because if she's focused on you and you're queuing the minions back at her and you're potting and then going back and auto-attacking creeps, you are pushing the lane. You are going to push at the Ahri. So that you would rather take a trade at level 1 that's shitty than be stuck under your turret potentially, taking a horrendous trade under your turret, or not even taking a trade, just falling behind in CS and then inevitably getting poked down. Would you rather be shoved under your turret trying to farm as a melee champ, or have an opportunity with all of this space? You have all this space to work with here. You can use this to dodge Ahri's skill shots, which is why, again, I said you should probably start boots and pots as opposed to pots and Darksteel. But I just don't think it's going to be as efficient for you as boots and pots will be. Okay, so if you're off to the side and you're pushing with it and you're just spamming Q over and over again, as soon as Ahri goes to auto you, whatever, you just back away, but you just keep pushing the creeps at her so that you can now have the lane going this way. If she wants to stop your push, she's gonna have to use mana on the creeps, which means that you can harass her. But because you just allow the guy to push into you and you just kind of break even, you take no control of the lane, and that means now she gets to push into us. And that's what happens. Watch. You go into lane, what do? Auto twice, auto a third time. Where's your Q? I don't know. It's not there. Where's your autos? Your autos kind of stops for a second. There, you could have autoed the front creep here twice. And you could have also queued the range creeps. And then move to the side and try to get her to waste her mana. Now you get poked down. You're still not queuing the range creeps, so you're not slowing the push down at all. So now the wave builds. And what happens when the wave builds? Well, now you see the minion formation. We can't even get close now. Yeah, you're right. Katarina does suck level 1, but it's not going to get any easier, dude. So you're gonna have to take a trade early on rather than later. You're gonna have to push early on because it's solo queue, and that's how we play solo queue. We play to make our opponents make mistakes. If we're gonna play Katarina into Ahri, we're gonna poke at this guy and we're gonna try to dodge the queue and get charge of the lane early. Maybe ask him about taking longsword at start, since I recently started getting hex tech gun. That actually could be an interesting start. It would allow you to push the lane a little bit faster. I still don't see how that's better than starting boots and pots, though, because of how we're going to have to dodge Ahri's skill shots in most cases. But it's an interesting theory craft. But it only really applies if you're going to step into the lane and push it. I still don't see how it's better than boots. Because you're getting poked because she hits level 2. If you had hit level 2 and then take Shumpo, guess what you get to do? You get to rush at him with Shumpo before he hits 2, and then you can trade back at him, and you can also reset Shumpo, jump to the daggers, and be annoying and maybe dodge some skill shots and outplay the guy. Again, and the pots not being ran fast enough is another problem. Pots should have already been running. If I go back in time. The game freeze? Hope it didn't freeze. It might have frozen. Oh, it didn't. Okay, cool. Sweet. So, pots should have already been running now. In my opinion. The pot should already be running. You need to keep your health topped off. You need to do how to dodge skill shots 101. I mean, that's like how to, you know, jerk off with both hands. Like, I could teach you that, but it's going to be practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have to practice that. My whole concept with the whole skill shot dodging thing was like, Cat Life, a master tier Katarina, one trick goes dark steel every matchup. Going 1 star at every matchup isn't necessarily the most optimal thing. Although, I don't believe that the start is why he loses this lane. I think the reason that he loses the lane is because he just plays it passively. I'm just saying that versus Ahri, it really doesn't make any sense to start anything other than boots, unless you have enough move speed to dodge skill shots, which without mobility or move speed quints, or without mobi or fucking boots, you're not gonna have the movement speed to dodge those skill shots as reliably. Thanks, Jaro. Love you, dude. Oh yeah, then Fabian, by all means, try it. But again, items are not why we fuck up early and get stuck under our turret. It's just because we play the lane too passive. So yeah, the pot management. Is one thing that really hurts us. Because how can we make an aggressive play, right, if our health's not topped off? That's why we're always poked down. And here is just an example of just sometimes we gotta give up farm. And anyways, we're back to where we were. Rito Dorito, love ya. Sure, dude. Better be a normal loss, though, dude. I'm gonna rage. You're following her. Let's talk about how good of a follow this is. Let's look at the map. You are level 8. She's level 10. I don't see this going our way very often unless our bot lane's godly. I don't mind a follow, though, because it is Katarina, so it's not the worst thing in the world to follow. It's just, how often are we actually going to get shit done? There's no way you're killing anyone here. Yeah, dude. There's no way. So, when could we have realized that this was shit? When could we realize that this was shit? I'll show you when. So here, Blitzcrank's holding. We have no ignite. Blitzcrank's trying to hold it down. He plays a little juke game. Are you going to one-shot Varus? Underfarmed Katarina with just Negatron Cloak. Negative. You will not be one-shotting that guy. Are you going to be one-shotting Hecarim. Nope. So I don't know why you bother jumping to these guys. You're never killing them. But you do. Then you dodge the Ahri shit, and you still stay down there, but there's just no fight here. You should have just turned around when you realized there was nothing for you to get done and push. Okay? Again, this is why I say the laning was super duper important here, because obviously falling this far behind is kind of unacceptable at this point. But there, following, the only person you could maybe hope to kill is Ahri, so unless you wanted to flash, dagger, and go for it all in, probably not gonna happen. Because you're not gonna 100-0 people without being fed. It's just not happening. Alright, Twitch. I like that you shoved the lane instead of chasing. I don't like that you're pushing, though. You should have jammed and then backed away and wait for an opportunity. Yeah, that's rough. I mean, your move actually wasn't bad. Like, you shoved the lane because Ahri's in your jungle. You shoved the lane, which isn't a bad move. But for some reason, you stay and hit the turret, which is never going to work. Alright. So that's my only criticism with that. I actually like that you pushed the lane in. I just hate that you thought you could get away with hitting the turret, because you can't. There's no way you can get away with hitting that turret. If you want to try to come back, pushing the lane and getting the Ahri to miss XP, that's a pretty good move. If there's any hope of coming back at all. I'm not sure that there's any hope of coming back at all, but you know what? We could try. We could always try. Let's see if there is. I mean, it's a 34-minute game, so we might come back. Already despawned. What's our class? Yeah. Good pick. Now, your ass needed to leave. You needed to hop your ass out. Remember that when you're trying to come back, guys, this is an important lesson. I mean, this game's probably over with how fed the other team is. They got Hecarim, they got fed Ahri, they got fed Darius, they got everything fed. This game is shit. When you're trying to come back, guys, remember when games are like this, remember your goal is always about taking the smallest little things and just gobbling them up and not sharing with the enemy team. That's all you're trying to do. And after about 5 or 6 of those, suddenly you're back into the game. When games get really dire like this, that's what you should be thinking. You should be thinking, man, if I could just sneak myself a couple of little gimmies and survive and keep the game delayed and turtle up a bit, we can maybe find a spot. I'm not saying you have to put yourself through this in a game like that's this shitty. Some people would say just surrender. I'm of the school of thought that if you pick a champion and you can't play that champion beyond like the 20-minute mark, without being like super ahead or something, or you can't play from behind with that champion, you probably shouldn't pick him, which is why a lot of times I pick champions that I think do well from deficit. But to each their own, right? So here we get the pick on Varus. We should have been bailing like ASAP, but we stay a little bit longer than we would have liked, and as a result, Hecarim clicks on us. And wow, he is, look at how good of a player that Hecarim is. That is impressive. Wow, what a good player. What happened here? Oh, I see what happened here. Sort of. You jump to him and then... Why? Whoa, 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 whoa. That was our problem. Why not throw the dagger first? You should have just thrown... You should have just led with Q first. It would make your job a lot easier, dude. You might be able to secure that kill. Yeah, this is pretty stomp. Yeah, my friend, this is a rough game, dude. They're really... I hope something cool happens, because I feel bad. It really is just your laning. Your laning... Your Ahri got out of control, because your laning was so sloppy, and now we're just getting pooped on. That's all there is to it. Okay, you get our one kill. Let's go top. Oh, okay, you go to collect the wave bottom. I'm okay with that. Trying to basically just make picks around the map to keep the game afloat. That's all I'm thinking. That's why I was like, maybe go and try to pick Darius. It's the only way you can come back is keep people on death timers and not let them group. Cool, we get the kill. Jump to your dagger next time. You can have more mobility if you'd like. Like there. So in this fight, notice you kill this guy. Take your dagger. And maybe fake that you're gonna go for Varus, then jump to your dagger again. Use that mobility. This is rough.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
You go in, you trade some damage, you get out. You have your ult. Smartly recognize you can't chase Darius. The enemy team isn't winning that fast, but they are way ahead of you. Smaxy, thanks for 7 months.
Welcome to the Preseason draft.
We get really low. That was a pretty good that was a good execute. There we go. Some money. That looks pretty clean. Actually. Little picks like that are how we come back. If we can find them. And that's just practice, you know. No way do you ever want to jump to a guy who's that big. He's level 17. You're not fucking with him. I don't even know if anyone on your team's fucking with him. You're getting some momentum back, but it's almost like it's too little too late. I mean, it is that. They get Baron and we lose. Alright, dude. So, there was not a lot to talk in this one. Mainly because you got pooped on so hard in lane. The enemy team got way out of line. Every single person on your team lost lane horrendously bad. This is just a very, very shitty game to coach. Now, that said, I am going to hammer home one last time what I talked about at the beginning of this replay, which is you threw the entire lane out of whack the moment that you mentally just allowed this guy to run you over in lane. One of the things you posted in the replay, like the donation, you're like, well, I faced a platinum player and I'm only this. I hear that shit all the time. I'm only silver. I'm only gold. I'm only this. And it's like, dude, it does not matter who you are facing. If you're doing, as long as it is not someone who's as long as it's not someone who's incredibly high win rate on a champion in like Diamond 2 or higher, you should not even concern yourself with any of that because they're going to make plenty of mistakes just like you will. The reason that you lost is because when you came into lane, you didn't have any confidence. You didn't strafe to the side and push the wave with Q, with your daggers, and you allowed Ahri to push into you, and then you ate charms under turret. If you're going to let this guy push into you and get bullied, you might as well give up CS and not feed. But it's your responsibility if you're gonna convince yourself going into the game that, okay, this guy's platinum, so he's better than me. If you're gonna convince yourself of stuff like that going into the game, then you're gonna have a really hard time ever winning the lane. Right? You're never going to win the lane. If you assume that the person that you're facing is better than you, automatically, because of their rank, you're never going to win the lane. So you need to come into the lane with the confidence. And the confidence being, like I said, play off to the side, dagger the minions, take an early trade, use your pots as soon as you get poked down to this amount, and start pushing back into the guy so you can discourage that under the turret poke that you received all game. I have died so many times on this stream to players in silver and gold. Fakers died to someone in what? Was it bronze or some bullshit like that? Or silver or something like that? Like, the ranks don't mean anything in that, because of that. Like, it's okay. So once you got shoved under turret and the momentum happened, you need to understand that assassin meta, you experience what a lot of players are going to be experiencing this season, which is the old assassin meta. Whereby if I fuck up and die early, this will be season 7. When Ryze and Syndra gets nerfed, guys, this is not just me talking out of my ass here. I've got a lot of connects that play high elo mid, and I'm telling you right now, once those champions... Once the big, well, probably even Victor too, actually. Syndra, Ryze, Victor. Once those champions go away and aren't like auto-locked, assassins are going to be played a lot more. And if it's assassin versus assassin, just like in top lane, you see all the time. If I get fed versus a carry in top lane and I'm playing a carry champ, that guy gets his butt pounded. That's exactly what's going to happen in mid lane. So instead of this whole turtling out with wave clear mids and shit, and if we move to an assassin meta, you fuck up early, the game's going to hurt, which can be fun for the people that master the assassins, but it's not going to be fun for someone like you who kind of plays on the back foot all game and gets poked down with a melee champ. If you're going to play Katarina, you got to be willing to trade damage, run the pots early, and try to spike level 2 and make some early trades and push your lane so that you're not getting punished. All right? I'm sorry I couldn't give you more feedback on this particular game. The only other stuff that I noticed, and you did do it eventually, is you did use your daggers for extended mobility, like in that execute on the Leona Varus, but like you got to be willing to use your Shumpo and your daggers to manipulate Ahri skill shots, to jump in, jump out, and you never got to do that because you just allowed the lane to push to you, died early, then died again, and then before you know it, we're getting butt pounded. All right? So, sorry I couldn't give you more here, but that's what we got to work on now. YouTube, I love you. Thank you so much for watching. It's Nisi, and I'm out. Peace. Crackers, thank you so much.